Hello, and welcome to lesson number 5. And we're looking at review of fractions today. We are going to have to handle fractions when we do our unit on imperial measure, and we're going to need fractions again when we talk about probability. So we're looking at just review of fractions, and what I want you to be able to do today, you can graphically represent and interpret fractions. All right, so I want you to be able to explain to me what a fraction would look like pictorially. So what is a fraction? A fraction is part of a whole, and not a hole in the ground or a hole in the wall. Is of an entire piece. Okay, so we're talking about a chunk of some larger piece. All right. So with terminology here, there's not a whole lot with it. We just know from example, a fraction looks like this, 2/3. And what I want you to practice this year is proper terminology. This is our numerator, and this is the denominator. Okay, kind of sounds like demon. Demon's down below in the underworld, so denominator is in the bottom of the fraction. So there's our terminology when we're dealing with the fractions. So what fraction is shaded? So a couple of examples here. Start with a section that looks like this. Okay, and oops, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cheat a little bit here and group that together. And we can clone it. And then I have a second example. Maybe clone it again. And do a couple of examples with it. Maybe one more. And clone. There we are. Okay, first example. So, such nice coloring. That was my best subject when I was in elementary school. Coloring. Okay. So what fraction is shaded here? So when you're looking at the object, this is what we call the whole part of the object. And so we're looking at brownie tray here. And in this brownie tray, someone's gone along and cut them. You never want the end pieces in a brownie tray, remember that. So how many pieces has this been cut into? So you go through and you count the pieces. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So someone's cut the brownie into 12 separate pieces. So that means that in my denominator, that is the number of pieces the whole has been divided into. So the denominator, I'm going to go back and add to this definition for you. It is the number of pieces the object has been cut into. All right. So that means our denominator is 12, and how much of it was colored in, or how many pieces were eaten. So using a different pen, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 pieces were eaten. So 5/12 of that shape have been eaten or are colored in. All right. So let's change it a little bit. Now we got lots of pieces. Okay, and I'll color in. Let's make a pattern here. I'll color in the diagonal. I'll start again up here. Make a nice little pattern. And add that one in too. Okay, so how many pieces are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if I go through and count that, that gives me 24 pieces. All right, so 24 pieces. So this particular one has 24 pieces. How many of these pieces, or how many brownies have been eaten? So you're just counting your colored areas here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9/24 have been eaten up. All right. Moving along here. Oops, this would be number 3. That's going to be number 4. What about, I'm going to add one more row. There we go. And we'll color it in. And we'll do that one, and that one, that one. Okay.
Mr. Eagle, when you get a moment.
Okay, so again, counting up the pieces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 pieces in this case. How many are colored in? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, and we will leave it at that. 3 examples. It doesn't really matter what the shape is. It could be a circle, so it could be a pizza, it could be a pie. Okay, so you're looking at how many parts have been colored in. So for the following, I want you to create a diagram. So if I give you a picture, so let's say 3/4. Okay, I want you to give me a picture that would represent this. So you can be creative here. So I'll go with circles. And if I color in 3 circles, 3/4 of the circles have been colored in. Okay. Now what about 1 1/3? 1 1/3. So the question is, how many shapes are going to be needed here? And we can do this a couple different ways. I'm going to do pizzas this time. So I know my pizzas have been split into 3 pieces. So I need a pizza with 3 pieces. So it looks like that. So color in 1/3. So I'll color in 1/3 of my pizza. There we go. But that picture only represents the fraction. It only represents the 1/3. There's a hole here. That means 1 whole pizza has been colored in. So actually, I need to draw a second pizza that's been divided into 3. And this time, I got to color in the whole thing because there's 1 whole pizza that was colored in. So there we go. So that diagram or that picture represents the fraction 1 1/3. So let's try another one here. So what happens if I do 2 2/5? So I'm going to have to come up with a shape that has 5 parts. And you can pick whatever you want. So how about we do rectangle this time? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and I'm going to want to have a couple of these. So I'm going to cheat and just clone them. I know you can't do that with yours, but I guess you should get a smartboard. All right, so I need to color in 2 of the 5. So there's 1, there's 2. Now why did I draw 3 in total? Well, I got 2 that have been completely colored in, so 2 whole ones. So that means that I need to color in all these bars. All right, so that means I have, with my diagram, 2 complete whole pieces that have been colored or eaten, and then 2 more pieces out of a group of 5. All right, and that's how you would represent that pictorially. All right, so that's all we're working on today, is practicing using our fractions, interpreting them, drawing them, and so on and so forth. If you have any questions, we're going to talk about this when we head into the one-on-one session.